women are animalistic. This is probably one of the most. I've come to this conclusion before, but I think a lot of what has confused me, or a lot of what has caused me a lot of consternation, is the fact that I'm by nature, or I guess I don't know if by nature, but I'm just naturally, I was raised very egalitarian. I was raised very, very with a fair mind, right? Which probably really precipitates a lot of my contempt in a lot of my videos, because how I am is because I like the concept of egalitarianism and like fairness and etc. I will view the world out of that lens, and so when I see something that is egregious, degenerate, immoral, whatever, I'm just like, ugh, and I kind of recoil and I cringe at it. Now, that's not to say that I don't understand the implications of, passion and lust and temptation, because believe me, I do. Okay, I get all that. That's a big magnet for humans, because we've got a, from a Christian standpoint, we've got a sin nature. We sin. We're attracted to sinning. And the world is very tempting. It's full of temptations, right? Particularly the lusts of the flesh, which is, promiscuity, sexuality, right? So I understand that. And I'm not confusing those two things when I say that women are animalistic, because they are two different things in a sense, although it's tied into, when I say a woman is being animalistic, I mean her nature is that way. I think men are more, I really do. I think men are more, we're more romantic, we're more idealistic, right? Women are more pragmatic, they're more practical. And I know there's going to be people who disagree with me on that. I know there's going to be people who say, no, women are the real romantics, blah, blah. No, I'm not saying women don't want romance. And I'm not saying women don't like to be wooed and they don't like to be, romanticized, etc., and taken on dates. And so, women definitely swoon over those things and they dream about those things. But it's always predicated on their animalistic behavior. And again, what do I mean by animalistic? I mean their core need to survive, their core need to be provided for, their core need to have a man who will be a provider and a protector. Okay? And men will always say, oh, this is what a man needs to be. A man needs to be a provider and a protector. Fine. Whatever. I'm not going to go into big, long-winded arguments about that. I think all I'm saying is that when it comes to an egalitarian love, when it comes to true love, you can't be animalistic about it. Because the moment you're selfish in a pragmatic way and you're like, oh, I need a guy who's a provider, I need a guy this, that, then you take love out of the equation. If you love somebody, you stick with that person. There's loyalty involved. There's it's not just commitment. It's a deep love for that person. I love this person. I don't care if this person's broke. I don't care if this person's sick. I don't care if this person's hurt. I don't care if this person's broken. I love this person. And I think men are far more that way than women are. Women, they need their base animalistic needs met. They need to have a guy who's going to provide for them. They need to have a guy that they know if the chips are down, he's going to go out and battle. Whatever that looks like. Financially, physically, whatever. He's going to put everything on the line to protect her, and that makes women want men. That's what women want in a man. And for me, I got to step aside. I'll be like, I'm not that, and I don't want to be that, because I'm not your daddy. Okay, and women get it all twisted. Oh, I'm an independent woman, blah blah blah. Deep down, every single woman, I don't care how ambitious she is, how audaciously financially aggressive she is, and all that, because you know these real radical modern feminists. Oh, I can do everything a man can do. I don't care. Every woman deep down wants to be taken care of by a man. Every single woman wants to be taken care of by a man. They want security. They want to feel protected. This is why they like tall men. Have you ever wondered why? Oh, how come women are always talking about tall men? Men don't give a crap if a woman's tall or short. We don't care. We don't care if a woman's super tall or if she's super short. Are we attracted to her? That's all we care about. There's a lot of attractive short dudes who get rejected because of their height. Why is that? It's because women need to feel protected, right? They need to feel protected. They need to have a guy who can, when the chips are down, defend them in a violent situation, defend them in a financially poor situation. This is why they go for tall, strong, physically, well off, financially, and then socially, he's got social skills, because these things translate into survival. All those things translate into survival. If you got social skills, you can climb up the ladder at work, or you can secure a good social circle that helps benefit you and your family. Okay, if you got money, that's peace, security, survival, right? If you're strong and you're tall, you can fend off attackers. Those are the things that women want. When people say, what do women want? That's what women want. But it's animalistic. That's my argument. It's animalistic. Is that those things are not, sure, that's good for the furtherance of our, human race. It's good for the furtherance of our species. Sure, that's nice. But if we're talking love, and we're talking true love, and we're talking romance, no. No. Those things shouldn't come into play, but they do. And so, really, this is the benefit of being in the red pill. The benefit of the red pill is that you learn that, and it saves you from the heartbreak. Because I spent so many years, decades, thinking, oh, I want to love some woman, and it's what it really is it's a transaction. It's not love. I mean, I'm not saying people don't have it. I'm not saying people can't find that. I think people do find that, but it's rare. For the most part, women are, and you could say, maybe this is modern women. Maybe this is, because they have so much freedom, etc. Maybe they're just twisted and warped. I don't know. I think, yes, nature versus nurture, environment plays a part in it. But their nature also is indecisive. It's, sensitive. It's scared. It's rash. Women are not like men, man. Women are not like men. And I'm not saying women are inferior, men are superior per se. But when it comes down to a lot of things, women don't get it right. When it comes down to a lot of things, women need a man to make a decision. When it comes down to a lot of things, these women out here who are acting like, oh yeah, I'm strong and independent, blah, blah, blah. The reality is that they're just fooling themselves. They've really bought into the lies of feminism. I don't think many women are very self-aware at how, let me try to use the right word here. I would say compromised. Maybe that's a good word. I was going to say fragile, but it's not that women are fragile. They're just compromised. Men are more well-rounded. We have less weaknesses. We just have more overall strength in so many different ways. And again, it's not that I'm saying men are superior, women are inferior. That's not particularly what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that if it's a one-to-one, if it's side to side, men and women are different. They're just different. Women have their strengths, men have their strengths, but on paper, or not say on paper, but in reality, they're different. I do believe that. It's just from what I've experienced. It's from what I've seen. Men are more romantic. Men are less pragmatic. I think men are more prone to make mistakes in dating. I think men need higher standards, and I've said that for years. Men need higher standards. I think men are the ones who are more desperate. I think men are the ones who settle the most, because women are the ones who are not in scarcity. Women have abundances of options, right? And it's just female nature. She's always looking for the BBD. She's always looking for the bigger, better deal. Always. Women are just this way. I don't care if she's been married for 5 or 10 years. There's always some little BS going on in the back of her head. She read an article that some radical feminist single woman said, "Oh, is your husband really the best you can get?" And then that put a little seed of doubt in her head that she's been, you know, going around on a carousel for 5 years thinking she might be able to get somebody better. In fact, I don't think she needs to read an article. I think women are like that anyways because of hypergamy. I think women are always looking for the bigger, better deal. I don't care if she's been married for 5 or 10 years. She's looking, you know. When I was doing game, when I was out talking to women, you know, even back in my promiscuous days, when I was younger, when I was sleeping around, I would sleep with, it happened to me a few times, 2 or 3 times where I slept with a girl who was either married or she was living with a guy, and I kind of got the clues because when I came in her house or whatever, it was like, you know, there's guys' clothes in the closet, guys' boots over there, and it's like, wait a minute, you're not single, are you? You know. This just their nature, man. I don't know, you know. And I'm not saying guys don't cheat, but guys cheat for different reasons. Guys just want to have sex. It's just pleasurable to us. We just enjoy sex, and women do too. But a woman is like, there's something about her nature that's like, I can do better. I'm not content, you know. And it's just like, and to me, that's a lack of an ability of loving. It's a lack of an ability to love a man. Now, before you judge me when I just admitted that I was, you know, had this promiscuous time or whatever, like, yeah, I did. I had a promiscuous time, and I'm not saying I still can't fall into that. Like, sex is great, you know, and I condemn it, but it's great. You know, I condemn it because of the poor results, and trust me, I've reaped what I've sowed when it comes to that, for sure. I've suffered a lot because of my past promiscuity, but I did it because I was lonely. I did it because, you know, I had a lot of limitations in my life and I couldn't find a good woman. And it was part of my red pill journey as well, because I was learning that women were this way. I was learning all this stuff about women. I was learning that women were shallow and women were, you know, materialistic, and they wanted money. And I got sick, and I, you know, in my early 20s, and I couldn't work and I couldn't go to school very well. I was kind of going to school, and I realized, like, it's not going to work for me as far as having a family and being a provider. And then I learned that women are really, really ruthless when it comes to that. Really, really ruthless. And they'll look you up and down and judge you just by looking at you. Oh, how much money does this guy make? How's he dressed? What kind of car does he drive? They'll do that just like that, subconsciously, right? In the same way a guy looks at a woman and is like, ooh, she's got nice boobs, she's got nice ass. A woman's looking at a guy like, oh, this is how he's dressed, this is how much money he makes. It's funny. But also, women look at how physical you are and how sexy you are too, right? He's got an attractive face, he's tall, he's got muscles, he's in shape, low body fat percentage. All of these things play a role for men. But when it comes to women, all men really want is like, okay, she's sexy, she's attractive. I don't care if she's tall, short, maybe she's a little overweight, that's fine. You know, in fact, some guys like, you know, women being chubby. You know, she's not ugly. That's it. That's all guys care about. She's not mean. She's not, you know, she doesn't look like she's on drugs. That's it. We're very simple. And yeah, we want we want a woman who's decent to talk to. But what I say men need to up their standards and say, hey, you want a woman who's moral. You want a woman who believes in the same God as you. You want a woman who has traditional values. You want a woman who's going to be a good mother for your kids. You need to step up the standards. Right? A lot of guys will just be like, oh, she's attractive and she's interested in me. Bing, checks off all my boxes. It's like, you got 2 boxes. You got to, is she attractive? Does she like you? That's it. And it's just like, no, that's not enough, man. You need to up your game, up your standards. She needs to have good personality. She needs to be intelligent. She needs to be able to have conversations. You guys need to have good rapport with each other? Are you guys a good fit? Is there chemistry? Is there real love? I mean, there's so many things that men need to improve on, but guys are just so much in scarcity mode. Guys are just like, oh God, I've been single for 5 years and no woman's giving me attention. Well, that's because they're all out chasing the top 5-10% of guys, and you're not. You're not the top 5-10% of guys. That's why you're not getting, attention. That's why women aren't attracted to you. Hit the gym, improve yourself, dress better, right? But at the same time, understand that when you do those things, like, and you might attract a woman, but and I did that. I went out and I hit the gym and I dressed cooler. I learned to be a bad boy. I learned how to, women love bad boys, man. They'll sleep with the bad boys within the first, half hour of meeting them if the guy says the right things and he's got confidence and charisma, whatever, and he's good looking, So that's the thing, man. You learn female nature and then you're just like, ugh. And so part of my red pill journey was going out and being a bad boy and sleeping around. And I wasn't as successful as some guys were, but I messed around with a lot of women who, I don't say a lot, I say at least 2 or 3 women who had either boyfriends or husbands or a guy that they were seeing on the side or something. And it was just weird, and I was just like, damn. It's part of my red pill journey, man. It's part of my learning female nature. They're always looking for the bigger, better deal, man. And they'll cheat, and they won't have no conscience about it, So I'm not sitting here saying you can't find somebody, but it's not looking good for our generation. I'll say that. Our generation is really, really not doing well, and it's being noted. It's being noted in mainstream news. People are saying, hey, people aren't marrying as much. The birth rates are dropping. People aren't having kids because we've lost our values. It's not about, a lot of radical feminists, women don't need men anymore because now we can go out and make our own money, which I don't even know if that's true. I think they always could. It's just maybe with the industrial, have you factored in the fact that we now live in a better society all around? People used to die in their 40s all the time before the 1900s, and then once the Industrial Revolution happened, now people can go out and get a job and live until they're 90. So it's a big difference. So people, women are acting like, oh, women were enslaved for generations, and it's just like, I don't know if that's technically true. People were in survival mode, and we're still in survival mode to some degree. So then on the other hand, you have to look at it too, like, are women going to evolve out of that survival mode? It's been 100 years since the Industrial Revolution. Are they going to evolve past that? I think they were doing pretty well in the 1940s and 1950s when family values was the thing, when social stigma would keep women from going out and being promiscuous, right? I don't know, man. There's different ways to look at it. And again, I'm not saying there's not such a thing as lust, and I'm not saying there's not such a thing as passion and like people falling into that, because that is true. But I'm saying in their nature, there's a difference between their nature, who they are, and then, falling into temptations, right? But things limited them. When you have a society that has traditional values, when you have a society that holds marriage in honor, when you have a society that wants families, that wants to have family values, then you're less likely to be messed up, and you're less likely to be it's still animalistic, right? It's still animalistic in the way that, they're still choosing men to be providers or whatever. That's still, when you look at nature, the male species usually does something to win over the female. Usually he builds a nest, or he develops bright feathers and dances, or he does some kind of mating dance or mating ritual, or if he's a lion or something, he goes out and beats all the other lions or some dumb crap, right? These are all animalistic things, right? Humans should be above that. I believe that. But were we lied to? Were we lied to by Hollywood? Were we lied to by romance novels that love is something that's just this kind of ethereal thing that kind of, happens, and it's beautiful, and it's like a fate type of thing, and you meet your other half? Does that happen? I think maybe. Is it common? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think for the most part, it's just animalistic. It's transactional. It's physical. You know. But I'm a holdout. I'm a holdout. I've had opportunities to settle with women who really had a lot of flaws and were below what I wanted, and I just didn't. The reason why I ultimately didn't settle down with them was because, first of all, I didn't want to do something out of scarcity. I didn't want to make a decision out of necessity. First of all, second of all, I didn't feel love. I didn't feel love. I didn't feel like I had that pump, and I felt that before about certain girls that I dated when I was younger in my teens. But I never felt that in my adult years. And if I did, then I probably would have been married. Because I'm not playing around anymore. When I was a teenager, I used to have crushes on girls, and I would admire them from afar, and I would try to talk to them, and it was also scared. But now as an adult, like if we're not going on a date, if we're not holding hands, kissing or something, then it's like I'm not going to be in the friend zone. So goodbye, So I think if I would have found that pump kind of feeling as an adult, then I would have just probably got married. Because it's like you want that feeling, and that's the problem with promiscuity. That's the problem that women don't understand, is that I think that what you feel when that pump and that love and those butterflies, I think that goes away if you sleep around. I think you stop feeling that if you sleep around. I think you can be totally attracted to somebody and even sleep with that person and not feel that pump. There's just something about that pump, and I haven't felt that since I was a teenager. And if you guys know what I mean, you know what I mean. It's like you just feel those butterflies, you feel that nervousness around them. You're just so attracted to them, and it's like this deep thing in your spirit, your heart, your soul. You feel this. Oh, she's just so. Oh, it's deeper. It's more ethereal than just attraction or physical attraction. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm just so in love with this person. You want to be around that person. You feel elated every time you think about them, every time you're around them. The fact that you're even, I used to feel that way when I had girlfriends in middle school and high school. I used to feel that way about these girls, and that's how I know I was a romantic. That's how I know I was very blue-pilled and I wanted love. Girls twist it and they're like, oh, guys only want sex, and that's such a lie. It's not true. Maybe the guys that you're attracted to, because they're the chads and they're the guys who are out here getting all the girls. So yeah, maybe they only want sex from you, but there's guys out here who want that pump. Trust me. It's just you don't want them because they're too nice and they don't make enough money and they're too short and they're not muscular enough and they're not confident enough and they don't have any game and they don't have any riz, and you're not, you're not, oh, this guy's so cool and confident and social. These are animalistic things that women get tripped up on. And they don't understand this about themselves. And then they wonder, like, I just don't understand why I can't find a good guy. It's because you're sabotaging yourself. There are tons of good guys out here. You just don't want them. You look past them. You don't see them. They're too boring. They're too average. They don't dress cool enough. They're too this or too that. Right? So anyway, I think I'm going to end there, guys. Appreciate you listening. Jay Lee, Northwest Podcast. Peace.